My encyclical is Ethics in Advertising. You know, after a while, some of these commercials just start to make you sick. This is a quote my grandpa said the other day while we were watching TV, and for the most part, he's right. You always see the same ads over and over again. Commercials and all other advertisements today can be sickening. These companies are trying to influence you to buy things you don't always need and are often doing it immorally. That being said, advertising is not inherently evil. It has the potential to do both good and bad, but must always strive towards the common good. One of the ways it can reach the common good is through its powerful influence on society. Although this can be a good thing, it also comes with a price. People are often influenced by what they see and hear from others. Because of this, the media has a responsibility to truthfully and ethically sell their products. If they do so, they also have the opportunity to have a positive impact on society. Advertisers must never deliberately try to deceive, whether directly or through implication. One example of immoral advertising is the Olay Definity advertisements. Definity is a cream that is supposed to be an age reducer and take away wrinkles. To demonstrate what their product could supposedly do, they ran an ad with a former model named Twiggy. In the ad, she is shown practically flawless, almost no wrinkles on her face. It was later revealed that the company had used Photoshop to retouch the pictures and make her look younger, giving the appearance the cream worked better than it actually did. In this you can see a side-by-side of what Twiggy actually looks like. Although she looks admittedly good for 62, there is a shocking difference between the two photos. Because it can have such a strong impact on society, advertising is very important. It's important because of the large amount of products our society has to offer. People need to know the difference between the products and what's good and bad. There can be many benefits of advertising. Advertising can be economically beneficial. Advertisements that are honest can often lead consumers to make more informed decisions and be aware of new products on the market. It can also inspire healthy competition between products. For example, one company may advertise a low sale price, which can provide incentive for another company to advertise a still lower price, thus stimulating the economy and providing competition within the market. A good example of this is the commercial for the new Kindle tablet. They do a side-by-side comparison with the Apple iPad. They show many of the two tablets' different features as well as a comparison of price. This allows consumers to make an informed decision and decide which tablet would better fit them. It could also provide incentive for Apple to lower their price when they see that the competition is selling the product for significantly lower than they are. Advertising can also be beneficial for religious groups and other social institutions. It does this by providing a platform for these institutions to spread their message effectively and truthfully. It is important and necessary for the church to embrace modern advertising and be active in using it towards evangelization. Despite the many benefits, such as stimulus of the economy, these can often be achieved in immoral ways. Companies often deliberately use immoral motives to sell their product. They use manipulative and exploitive means such as sex and power. It is also important that the dignity of the person never be violated. One of the most commonly used means to sell products violates this principle. It is impossible to turn on the TV without seeing women, often scantily dressed, being used to sell a product. One major example of this, and a person who violates this principle, is the Fiat car company. Almost every single one of their commercials involves women and models dressed in tight, form-fitted clothing. It isn't even apparent what they're actually trying to sell until almost the very end, when they throw a car into the picture just to remind you what they're actually selling. This is a picture from a Super Bowl ad that ran last year for the Fiat 500. It's about a minute long, and 47 seconds of that is a woman coming onto a guy in the street corner. Then, finally, the woman disappears and turns into a car. The only thing the commercial actually says about the car is, quote, "The Fiat 500, you'll never forget the first time you see one." It doesn't say anything about how many miles per gallon the car gets, what the price is, what features it has, or what makes it such a great car. It just has an attractive woman standing on the street corner. This is one of the major problems with advertising today. They are often simply trying to sell the product through whatever means necessary, and they are not telling you anything about what they're selling. Other companies also guilty of this include Budweiser, Victoria's Secret, and GoDaddy.com, just to name a few. And they're not just guilty of exploiting women. Recently, Kraft featured a commercial with a shirtless man in order to sell their salad dressing. Another way advertisers violate the dignity of the human person is through the exploitation of children. Advertisers often direct their ads at children, hoping it will influence them to ask their parents to buy the product. They see kids playing with the toy, looking happy, and having fun, and they want that for themselves. Commercials like this mostly play on kids' emotions and manipulate them for their own benefit. This is one such ad for the Rainbow Fun Loom, where you can make bracelets, necklaces, and various other accessories. Ads like this can mostly be seen on the Disney Channel, where it will have a huge impact on children. How many of you remember watching Disney Channel and seeing an ad for something that you thought was just the coolest thing ever? I do too, and I know my parents never would have let me get it. And that's exactly what these advertisers are aiming to do. They want these kids to beg and plead until the adults give in and buy the product. Another evil that can stem from advertising is that the product the company is trying to sell is immoral to begin with. This could be seen in products such as condoms, birth control, and various others. Advertising should never be used to sell harmful or evil goods to the public. Advertising can help the human person grow in truth and get closer to the common good, or it can be destructive to its well-being. Ads that sell immoral, evil products are exactly that, destructive. The biggest example of this are the Trojan condom commercials that can be seen throughout the internet and on TV. Another harm done by advertising is that it leads to the tendency towards consumerism. They're always selling you more and more and more. You had this TV, but there's a new one out that's better, so now you have to buy it as well. When advertising does this, it does more harm to society than good. It strays from the common good and goes back to its tendency towards evil. It can also lead to a desire for products that we want and that are not actually necessary. You see the commercial for the new iPad and you desire to have it, but do you really need it? Probably not. One company where this can be seen most often is Apple. Apple comes out with a new product, it seems like every other month. As soon as you buy one, they've come out with the next best thing. Then suddenly, your brand new iPhone, although it still works just fine, isn't good enough. The church teaches us that we must avoid the tendency towards consumerism. Material possessions can often distract us from our true mission in life, which is to live for Jesus Christ and strive towards heaven. All those involved in advertising are morally responsible for what they influence people to do. Advertising has a large effect on society. Therefore, the church has the duty to make sure this influence is authentic, moral, and always strives towards the common good.